Hello and welcome into the 247 Sports YouTube channel. I'm national recruiting analyst Cooper Patagna as we bring you the live commitment of three-star defensive lineman Deyvid Palepale out of Pennsylvania. If you're not familiar with his game, 6'3", 288 pounds, three-star out of Hempfield High School, originally from Anchorage, Alaska. We'll get to that in a little bit. The number 58 defensive lineman in the country, number 16 ranked player in the state of Pennsylvania. The top schools that he's considering today consist of Michigan, Penn State, and USC. So a lot of buildup coming into this commitment. And we're going to go straight to Deyvid Palepale himself at Caruso's Pizza Company in Pennsylvania. Deyvid, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I want to mention Anchorage, Alaska, just for a minute, right? You moved from Anchorage, Alaska, when you were 14 years of age. Now in Pennsylvania, getting ready to make your college football decision. What has this whole process been like? Not only the moving process, moving across the entire country, but the recruiting as well.
It's been crazy. It's been like a dream come true. You don't really see much people go to Division One. I could probably name like two off the top of my head since living there. But moving here is probably the best thing for us. We're all thriving, and I couldn't be more grateful.
You've mentioned that your family has been a huge part of this decision-making process for you. What's been the message from your family throughout this entire recruiting process as you've gone through your visits and now here on decision day?
I think the biggest thing was to not lose focus on what my end goal was, and then to not lose sight of who was also there for me the whole way through. Not those who just got on board, but my crew is right here, those behind me. They've been there for 17 years of my life. Just not to lose focus of who most important around me affect how I move.
All right, Deyvid, it's your day. You got to introduce your family in the back. They've been with you from day one. Who you got with you?
I got my dad right here to my right, Samuel Lawano. My beautiful mother in the back there, Deyvid Palepale. Devin Lawano, he's a freshman. Watch out, he's gonna be a beast. Oh, and then we got this one right here, Desmond Lawano. He's a freak already. That's my family.
There you go, man. We got some future guys we got to keep track of over there. All right, I don't want to keep the people waiting any longer, man. Where do you plan on playing your football for the next 3 to 4 years?
Before I get to that, I have a couple people I'd like to thank. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for all He has done, the blessings He's bestowed upon my family and I, for the guidance and safety He's provided through the hard times and even humbling me at my highest. First, I want to thank my beautiful mother. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for believing in us when it was only us. And everyone knows I'm a mama's boy, and that's simply because you're the greatest mother anyone could ask for. Thank you for your faith and the wisdom you have instilled in my brothers and I. And I love you eternally. Dad, my biggest critic, but also my biggest supporter. You've always held me to the highest standards since I first started playing ball. You always kept that desire to go and get it yourself if you really want it. Thank you for keeping it real all the time. And I'm very fortunate to have you in my life, and I don't take that for granted. I love you. To my dogs, my best friends, my little riders, Devin and Des, my guys. I honestly don't know what life would be like without you guys. Devin, we've been together since 2008. The good, the bad, and all those in between. There's nobody out there who knows me like you. We've been best friends, the biggest rivals, and the best duo out since. And then we got Des, the most wild, energetic, yet wiser 6-year-old on the planet. Y'all managed to keep me in my highest spirits no matter the circumstances, and I couldn't ask for better younger brothers to help raise. I love you both. I'd also like to take the time to thank my Uncle Reese, Auntie Mo, Auntie Diane, and God bless his soul, Uncle Tony, for making this transition as smooth as possible. Coming from Alaska to Pennsylvania wasn't easy at all. And you guys helped us when it was like the most uncomfortable situation ever. And now we're thriving and found a better life than we ever had back in Alaska. I'd also like to thank the many coaches, mentors, and teammates I've had since moving here. Even before, Uncle Nana, Coach Corey, Coach Wagaman, Coach Egger, and all the Hempfield staff for welcoming me with such open arms. I'd also like to thank my dad, who put the ball in my hands, and I have not looked back since. Thank you guys dearly. Last but certainly not least, a huge thank you to my papa. Not everyone gets to say they've been helped raised by their great-grandfather. Some not even get to meet theirs. I know you're not here right now, but you're probably watching. You're truly the greatest great-grandfather anybody could have. The many sacrifices you have made, I couldn't be more appreciative of someone as much as you. Growing up, I'd hear all the stories about how great of a rugby player you were, and how you pissed people off to where Auntie Fina had to fight people. You also taught me how to show genuine love and to care for those around you, not only when they need it the most, but when they don't need it at all. I miss having you here in Pennsylvania and in the stands like you usually do. But I know you love me, and the love I have for you is beyond the world. I can go on and on thanking everybody who has impacted my life up to this point, but I'm going to save everybody's ears. I want to thank all the schools and the programs who took a chance on me and to get to know my family and I throughout this decision. But for the next 2 to 4 years, Desmond, let them know where we're going. Let them know.
We're going to USC.
Spot on, baby. Put on the hat. Where's the hat? There you go. Spot on, baby.
There you go. So USC, it is. David, you could have gone anywhere in the country, including Penn State and Michigan. We just talked about how you are now in Pennsylvania, moved there when you were 14. What made you feel comfortable pulling the trigger and trusting Lincoln Riley with your future over your collegiate career?
I think this is a great question, and that for those the outside looking in should know, this program is going to be something like it was before when Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart were there, and the Lincoln Riley era is going to be something crazy, and I'm excited to be a part of it. We're turning the tides around, and we're coming to take over the Big Ten first.
So, David, for the USC fans out there, what type of player in person are the Trojans getting in Deyvid Palepale?
As a player, I'm very dominant, explosive, and I'm a high IQ football player. As a person, there's not much to me other than just doing it the right way, keeping my head down and grinding. And just want to let all USC fans know that I'm here to work. I'm ready to win not only a Big Ten championship, but a national championship.
Deyvid Palepale, congratulations, man. Enjoy the day with your family as USC gets a big pickup and continues to improve on our top 10 class in the country. And with that, we'll bring in national recruiting analyst Brian Doan, who covers the state of Pennsylvania as well. And Brian, this is a big get for USC. We know that the point of attack is a big emphasis for them on both the offense and defensive side of the football. What is USC and Lincoln Riley getting in Deyvid Palepale?
I think they're a guy, you watch his high school tape and he plays outside to move him inside in a 3-4 defense. But for me, he's a guy that moves inside. I like his quickness. I like his ability to move laterally. He's able to shoot gaps, especially off the snap. Love when he lines up over the center and just how he shows his quickness. But with that, they're getting a kid who's, like you mentioned, Coop, he's 6'3", 288 now. He's a kid that easily can go to 315. And you think about what that can mean once USC moves into the Big Ten, which is a little more rugged when it comes to the running game, and especially between the tackles. And I think he's a kid that can be a guy who can stop the run and plug that up a little bit, but also the versatility that he offers to shift around on the front a little bit to get in the backfield. There's a lot to work with here, especially, get better with the hands, continue to refine his strength. But I think there's a reason USC came 2,500 miles east to find him.
I know there were a lot of times Michigan felt good, Penn State felt good about this. USC, at the end of the day, they're the ones that get it done. What do you think kind of swung it in USC's favor?
Well, I think at the end of the day, he grew up a USC fan. He's a kid that, like you had mentioned, he's from Anchorage, Alaska, and he got to watch some of those really good USC teams, and he knew what they were about. He talks about Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, and he didn't just hear about those guys when recruiting started. He knew about them, It's also the comfort level when he went and visited Los Angeles. He does not bring it up much, but you saw how tight he is with his family, and the Polynesian culture is important to him. I lived out there for a while, and I got to see what the Polynesian culture was at USC, and it's very strong. It's very welcoming, and it just made him a little bit more comfortable too. And he also likes Sean Nua. He looked at what Sean Nua did when he was a defensive line coach at Michigan with developing guys, putting them in the NFL. And listen, when you're going to USC and a lot of these schools, they all think they're going to the NFL, and they all have a chance. And he thinks Sean Nua has a chance to really develop him into that.
Lincoln Riley's 17th commitment, 8th different state. You talked about the 2,500 miles flying all the way across the country to get a guy like Deyvid Palepale. Elijah Newby, he's the other guy, right, from the state of Connecticut. Are you starting to sense like USC of old, early 2000s, Pete Carroll type of vibe on the East Coast where they can kind of dip into that a little bit more?
Like what was it, Dwayne Jarrett when he came here and the Cushings and everything. But, and I think what happens with USC now, and you'll see it a little with UCLA too, is it's not just you come here and, you have to go to school on the other side of the country. Hey, by the way, we're going to play at Rutgers and Penn State and Maryland and Illinois and Michigan and Ohio State. And all of a sudden, there's some road games that seem a little bit closer on the schedule. And it makes it a little more palpable for the families just to say, hey, listen, every road trip I make is not going to be 2,500 miles to watch them play. And you're going to hear a lot more about them. I know in this part of the country, the Big Ten Network is a big thing, and they showcase so much with the football players and all the programs. And I think the families are able to stay more connected. I know, Maryland got a commitment from a local cornerback, Lloyd Irvin, earlier today, and he was telling me about how, hey, it's great because I get to go against USC's passing attack, UCLA's passing attack. And so USC is doing a really good job of utilizing that in recruiting on saying, hey, we may be on the West Coast, but we're going to be in your backyard at some point. And I think that's going to continue. And just remember this thing, Coop, when you're talking about USC and these kids, their parents, they grew up watching USC absolutely dominate. They know what Pete Carroll did. And USC, I always say in Los Angeles, the biggest things are the Dodgers, the Lakers, and USC football.
USC already getting a little bit of Big Ten flavor going all the way to Pennsylvania to get it. Brian Doan, we appreciate your time. And the fans, you guys watching, we appreciate your time as well watching the 247 Sports YouTube channel. Before you get out of here, make sure to subscribe. Also smash the like button as well. For Brian Doan, I'm Cooper Patagna. Thanks for watching.